Hello everyone and welcome to Katharine's Creatures. This is a series where I get to talk a little bit about and touch base upon various mythological beasts, beings, and the like pulled from lore worldwide. And I always like to preface by saying that I am not a linguist, so if I mispronounce anything, I do apologize in advance. And today I wanted to talk about the Kinnara. And the Kinnara comes from both Hindu and Buddhist mythologies and essentially is typically described as being some kind of part human, part bird hybrid creature. We've heard of these before. They pop up in so many myths, and for better for worse. And this one I really wanted to kind of touch base upon because it's actually a beneficent creature, and I've been using and kind of talking about a variety of more the lethal, dangerous, and mischievous entities recently, so it's been nice to do a nice one for once. Now, the Kinnara comes from the Himalayas, or is thought to, and is believed, these kind of entities are believed to be protectors or these watchers of mankind, trying to keep them and their well-being in hand, especially in times of trouble or dangerous times. And so they're kind of these almost not necessarily guardian spirits, but they are again these kind of watchers for better purposes. And they're associated with music and love. There's actually an ancient Indian stringed instrument that is called the Kinnari Veena, and again named after the idea of these bird-human entities that have a heavy association with both love and music. And they have been talked about in a lot of ancient texts, including the Mahabharata, the Jataka tales, the Lotus Sutra, and other, again, these kind of older and ancient texts. In Southeastern Asia and their Buddhist myths, the Kinnara is supposed to have female variations, and they're called kinnaris. And these female counterparts, again, are described as being both half human, half bird. And in this particular circumstance, the description is a little more specific, talking about them having both, having the torso, head, and arms of a woman, while the wings, feet, and kind of tail of a swan. And they were these entities that were viewed and renowned for, again, dance and song and poetry, so these wonderful arts, and were also thought to live in a mythical location of Himavante, hopefully I pronounced that close to being accurate. They were symbols for feminine beauty and grace and a variety of accomplishments. Again, think songs, poetry, and dance, and things like that. Now, the Kinnara is, I want to make notes because there was I think he was a historian, made the point that the Kinnara is distinctly different from another kind of bird-human entity called the Kalvinka. So those are two different creatures, even though they're from the same region and have a little bit in shared descriptions of what they look like. Those are actually distinctive creatures. With that said, because the Kinnara is believed in a wide range, there are a lot of regional differences in the names, and of course specific tales and variations of descriptions. If you listen to this series, you've heard this before. This is nothing new. For instance, in Cambodia, the Kinnara is actually called the kenar. In Burma, I'm going to look this up. Okay, Burma, they were called the kinnaya or the kinnaya, and they have the female variations as well. And in China, the name is drastically different, which was jinnalalau. Hopefully, again, I'm pronouncing anything close. I'll try to put them all down in the descriptions down below. And in China, they were believed, again, as these kind of almost divine entities that shared both these humanoid bodies, but along with their bird parts, we're also supposed to be part horse as well in some shape or form. And they were thought of as being these kind of celestial musicians Now, sometimes in art forms, it was noted that they could be depicted as birds of paradise rather than these kind of human hybrids, human-animal hybrid kind of things. Now, in Hindu mythology or Hindu myth, they took on either the human bird or the human horse, but not necessarily blending all three. But again, there's a whole variety of different texts and different kind of descriptions depending on the history in the region, etc., so on. You'll also find variations of the Kinnara in Indonesia and Tibet, Thailand, and the Philippines, because there is such a great variation and so many different regional tales. If you are interested in looking up these essentially bird-human hybrids, these watchful beings that represent both love and music, I encourage you to look them up, because there is a lot to cover and I'm already past 5 minutes. I can look at this. So that will be for another time. But if you have any questions about this or anything else, please post them in the comments below or reach out to me on any of my social media. And until next time, everyone, Skål.